Magandang gabi, bayan. This is Dario Burando, report update about the transportation sector in the Philippines. Authorities closed the southbound lane of EDSA Kamuning flyover in Quezon City to motorists before dawn on Wednesday, May 1, to give the retrofitting works. The lanes were closed at 1:55 a.m. according to the report by Alan Gatus on Super Radio DZBB. Concrete barriers were placed to close off the affected lanes. One lane, however, has been left open for EDSA carousel buses, according to a report by Bam Alegra on Unang Balita. The Department of Public Works and Highways will retrofitting the flyover to ensure its structural integrity. The repair work is expected to last for 6 months until October 25. Motorists were advised earlier by the Metropolitan Manila Government Authority to take alternate routes such as Mabuhay Lane.
Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board Chairperson Teofilo Guadis III has dispelled claims that the PUV modernization program will immediately trigger a failure. In a statement on Friday, May 4, 2024, Guadis maintained that the current fare for PUVs will remain. There is no basis to implement fare hikes for PUVs. Several factors such as inflation and cost of fuel must be considered before the agency approves a new fare increase, he said. Currently, the minimum fare for traditional jeepneys is 13 pesos, while 15 pesos for modern jeepneys. In light of the deadline of the consolidation policy under the PUV modernization program, hundreds of jeepneys will no longer be allowed to operate after a week or two, as they are already considered colorable after they fail to comply. The program requires the consolidation of PUV franchises, meaning that jeepney drivers and operators must operate under a cooperative to obtain approval for their provisional authority for franchise. Two petitions seeking to call off the implementation of the PUV modernization program are still pending before the Supreme Court, both of which were filed by Piston and other members of transport groups. As for the tourism industry, this would affect the locals and even tourists, as they will no longer have properties with the fare hike, since increasing the fare price will be considered based on the inflation and cost of fuel. More news upcoming later at 6:15 p.m. This is Alexis Well reporting at Seaboard's Patrol.
Days ago, on April 30, China Coast Guard has water cannoned the Philippine ships on their route to a maritime patrol near Bajo de Masinloc. According to Commodore J. Tariala, the Philippine Coast Guard spokesperson from the West Philippine Sea, the Philippine vessels encountered dangerous maneuvers and were blocked by 4 Chinese Coast Guards and 6 maritime militia vessels. The Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or BIFAR vessels, BRP Datu Bangkao was the first to be water cannoned at around 9:53 a.m., hitting its starboard Asher then when the PCG vessels was approximately 1,000 yards away from the Bajo de Masinloc. It became the next target of the water cannon, causing damage to the ship's trailing and canopy. Additionally, China deployed a floating barrier along the entire route leading to the show. Despite this aggression, the BIFAR and PCG vessels continued their maritime patrol without backing down.
News update. Manila, Philippines, the Land Transportation, Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, will give unconsolidated jeepney a 15-day leeway to still play their routes before the government starts impounding their vehicles. Jeepneys are an iconic mode of transportation in the Philippines, favored by locals and tourists alike for their colorful design and affordable fares. However, unconsolidated jeepneys, which are not part of any organized transport group, have been the subject of regulatory crackdown in the recent years due to safety concern and the need to modernize the public transportation system. The deadline set by the LTFRB for unconsolidated jeepneys to comply with regulation or face penalties has left many in the tourism industry wondering how this will affect visitors to the Philippines. On one hand, the crackdown could potentially improve the overall safety and efficiency of public transportation, which will benefit tourists looking to explore the country. The impact of the LTFRB crackdown or unconsolidated jeepneys in the tourism industry remain to be seen. It is important for the government and transport authorities to work closely with stakeholders in the tourism industry to ensure that any changes do not unduly disrupt the travel experience of visitors of the Philippines. This is Greca Marin, your news reporter.
Piston Group on the PUV consolidation deadline will have a transport strike, while the Manibela Group is still considering if they will also go on a transport strike. The Piston Group stopped the pass that was accompanied by a protest to counter the PUV modernization program. Many tourists rely on public transportation to move around cities and tourist areas. If PUVs are on strike or limited due to modernization efforts, tourists may have to resort to more expensive or less convenient alternatives like taxis or private shuttles, which could deter some from exploring certain areas. This has been Jamaica Colo reporting.
Good evening, I am Eliza Kate, your news reporter. Today's headline is for Cagayan de Oro Transport Group at Crossroads Ahmed Franchise Consolidation Deadline. Good evening, in Cagayan de Oro, the local transport industry is facing a pivotal moment as it approaches a franchise consolidation deadline set by the government. Operators of jeepneys, tricycles, and buses find themselves at a crossroads tasked with merging their individual franchises into a unified entity. Discussions among transport operators are ongoing as they grapple with the challenges of consolidation. As the deadline draws near, uncertainty clouds the future of Cagayan de Oro's transport landscape. Residents are watching closely, hoping for a resolution that balances the need for modernization with the interests of all stakeholders. This is Eliza Kate reporting for ABS. Back to you.
Good day, viewers! I'm Benjen Herbieto bringing you the latest updates from the transportation sector in the Philippines. In a significant development, the transportation budget for 2024 has doubled to an impressive 214 billion pesos. This substantial increase is earmarked primarily for crucial rail infrastructure projects, including the North-South Commuter Railway or NSCR and the Metro Manila Subway. These projects are expected to revolutionize transportation infrastructure across the country, providing faster, more efficient, and reliable commuting options for millions of Filipinos. But what does this mean for the tourism industry? Well, with improved transportation infrastructure, tourists will have easier access to various destinations within the Philippines. The expansion of the rail network will not only reduce travel time but also enhance connectivity between major tourist spots, making it more convenient for both domestic and international travelers to explore the beauty of our country. From pristine beaches to lush mountains, cultural heritage sites to bustling cities, the enhanced transportation infrastructure will undoubtedly boost tourism and contribute to the country's economic growth. The increase in transportation budget and the focus on rail infrastructure projects signify a promising future for both commuters and the tourism industry in the Philippines. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more updates. I'm Betchen Herbeato, signing off.
News report. New airline to fly across PRM. Cotabato City, Bangsamoro Airways, a pioneering airline based in Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, will begin flying across the region on April 24, 2023. Bangsamoro Airways, operated by Federal Airways Incorporated, aims to connect mainland BARMM to its island provinces to make the provision of service significant. According to BBIO's report, the BARMM recorded a total of 3.7 billion of investment, already surpassing the office's 2024 target of 2.6 billion. In this current fiscal year of boosting economic and tourism development at the BARMM by capitalizing on its comparative advantage and investing in transportation and communication are aligned with the third and fifth priority agenda of Bangsamoro Chief Ministry Ahod Ibrahim.
Good day! I'm here to bring you the latest transportation updates in the Philippines. According to the latest transportation news, Metro Manila roads where e-strike and e-bikes are banned starting April 2024. The Metro Manila Council MCC through the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority MMDA approved a resolution banning certain vehicles from traversing major roads in the National Capital Region NCR. MMA Regulation Number 24022 prohibits e-bike, e-strike, tricycles, pedicabs, pushcats, and colleagues from traveling in national road, circumferential roads, and radial roads of all cities in NCR starting to April 2024. The overall impact of the ban on the tourism industry is difficult to predict. It will likely depend on how alternative transportation options are developed to serve tourist needs. If there are affordable and accessible alternatives, probably negative effects will be mitigated. It's important to stay updated on the latest development regarding the ban and how it will be implemented. This will help you advise tourism on the best way to get around Metro Manila. This is your newscaster, Belarus Monterola.
Public transportation problems in the Philippines. The Philippines struggles to maintain an efficient system of public transportation. It currently uses a system of privately owned jeepneys, a type of small bus that operate on prescribed routes. Due to lack of regulations and control, passenger can expect long waits, frequent transfers, and traffic delays. These studies examine possible solutions for this problem. A minimal spanning tree transportation model is introduced to show how public transportation in the Philippines can be better routed. This paper also offers insights into how engineering management solutions can help improve the efficiency of a developing country's public transportation system. Developing country transportation network optimization. So like most developing countries, the Republic of the Philippines struggles to maintain a transportation system that can meet the needs of its citizens. Due to a lack of capital, roads are difficult to maintain and expand. Government-supported transportation is nearly non-existent, except in the naval and aerial sectors. The Philippines' problem is even further compounded by the site confines of its island terrain. Cities are very crowded due to the high mountains in the interior of the islands and few flatlands along the coasts. With little room to grow and expand, cities become very congested and traffic begins to back up. These conditions have led to horrible efficiencies in the public transit system in most of the larger cities. Efficiency will be defined as the ability to quickly and cheaply transport individuals to their desired destinations, cost and trafficability. The goal of this study is to find a more efficient system of transportation. While there are many different theoretical approaches that can be used to help solve this problem, this paper will focus on using a minimal spanning tree transportation model to evaluate possible alternatives to the current system. Stay tuned for our latest news.
Good day, Philippines. The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, has announced a major crackdown on non-compliant public utility jeepneys operators and owners.
Chairman Teofilo Guadis III stated that the operators who did not sign up for industry consolidation will face severe consequences, regardless of whether they operate traditional or modern units. Those who fail to comply will have their franchises revoked, and their units will be deemed color room. The deadline for compliance was April 30, with no exceptions.
The LTFRB had initially aimed to conclude the consolidation process in January 2024, but President Marcos Jr. extended the deadline by 3 months due to requests from sectoral groups. Now, with the deadline on non-consolidated, PUJs will no longer be allowed to ply their routes.
This crackdown also has significant implications for the tourism industry. Tourists rely on public transportation, including PUJs, to explore various destinations in the Philippines. With a potential shortage of PUJ units due to the crackdown, tourists may face difficulties in accessing popular tourist spots, affecting their overall experience.
Additionally, any disruption or delays in public transportation services could lead to negative perception among tourists and impact the country's tourism reputation. This is Erica Jean Tality reporting.